The following is a presentation of AI-generated simulation. The events that are depicted is the results of 100 hours of research, bringing to you the very most accurate results possible.
This match is for the heavyweight championship of the world. In this corner stands Sam Langford, standing 5 feet 7.5 inches and weighing in at 195 pounds. The other corner has the heavyweight champion Jack Johnson, standing 6 feet tall and 205 pounds. Langford stands in the ring corner glaring at Johnson, certainly annoyed that he was forced to await such a long time for a rematch with the champion. The first round starts with both fighters feeling each other out. Johnson attempts to hold on to Langford, who shows this is going to be of no use, as he frees his right hand and swings hard for Johnson's jaw. Johnson steps back almost as if in awe of the strength behind Langford's punch. This certainly isn't the 165 pounds Langford that Johnson faces today. But Langford follows Johnson across the ring. The two clash once and in the corner as Johnson spins Sam around with a swift move and levels him on the side of the head with a tremendous shot. The first round closes with both fighters tangled up in the corner. Both cornermen offer some advice to their fighters, as the crowd is roaring with anticipation. Round 2 starts off as Johnson lands a two-punch combo to the body. Langford missed wildly with a left hook as he follows Johnson around the ring. Langford's quick feet certainly is keeping Johnson off balance as Jack attempts to mix up different punches. Both fighters exchange heavy blows in the center of the ring as the bell sounds, ending round 2. At this point, neither fighter has any kind of advantage. Round 3, Langford appears very focused this round. Johnson greets him with a stinging left as Sam bounces to the ropes. Langford challenges Johnson to come get him as Johnson grins with his golden teeth showing. The two engage in wrestling. The two finally get freed up by referee Charley White as he encourages the two to begin boxing and stop wrestling. Langford makes an adjustment as he backs Johnson into the ropes and hammers him with body shots as Johnson appears rather upset by the exchange. Langford looks to his corner and the two meet again in center stage. Again, Langford uses his height to his advantage as he ducks a lead left by Johnson and swings a punch full force in the pit of Johnson's stomach. The round ends with Johnson tying up Langford at close quarters. Round 4, Johnson no longer is seen smiling as he adopts a much more serious tone. This round starts off fast and furious as Johnson continually hunts for the head of Langford. While he misses many shots, Langford in his exuberance walks into a Johnson lead cross as this draws first blood upon Sam's nose. Langford again attempts to walk through Johnson's offense as he appears none too concerned with getting hit by the champion. The round closes in Johnson's favor. Round 5 starts with Langford again eager to show his wares, as he launches a two-fisted attack on Johnson, who backpedals in a somewhat surprised manner. Langford throws a quick compact uppercut that scores on the head of Johnson. Johnson shoots a right home as it smashes Langford in his eye. The two begin wrestling again as both continue talking to each other. Langford made it appear obvious he has tremendous disdain for the champion. Ref White tries desperately to separate the fighters when the two become tangled and both men topple to the canvas. White shouts out no punches and the men rise up and are both warned for rough housing as the round ends with both glaring at each other. Round 6 starts with immediate action as both fighters are eager to mix it up. Johnson sends repeated combos to the head and body as Langford only gets more determined. Langford again stalks Johnson as Jack sends out his left hand. Langford pivots to his right and lands a beautiful counter on Johnson's cheekbone, as this was the very best shot of the fight so far. As Johnson appears somewhat rattled as he again clinches Langford, who has some difficulty pushing the bigger man off him, but just as the round ends, Langford lands some tremendous swings upon the midsection of Johnson, who appears annoyed as he keeps getting clipped hanging on to Langford. Rounds 7 and 8 were marked as both men wrestled and attempted to hit each other at close quarters. Langford's eyes seemed to be under control as the blood seemed to have stopped flowing. Johnson could perhaps have the better of round 8, but the rounds were very close. Round 9 marked a very difficult fight to judge, as both fighters were having limited success. Johnson dances gracefully across the canvas as Langford attempts to try and get Johnson to swing. Langford walks in close on Johnson and blasts him upon the ear as Johnson seemed to have his balance affected by the blow as he stumbles slightly. Langford, sensing an opportunity, stalks Johnson once again. This time, Sam immediately swings an uppercut on Johnson before he gets a chance to clinch. Johnson appeared unready for the punch, which caught him off guard. Johnson shoots out a right on Langford's eye. Langford again stalks Johnson as he backs into his own corner. The round ends with Langford yelling at Johnson's seconds, telling them it's only a matter of time. Johnson appears very interested that the round concludes. Round 10, Johnson rebounds somewhat in this round as he fights with much more caution, as Langford still appears hyper-aggressive. Johnson lands some great straight rights at a charging and ego Langford. This was clearly Johnson's round as he fought much more smart. Round 11, both men meet at center ring immediately. Both sensed the tide swinging in their favor. Both men fought at a fast pace. Langford seemed to land more often, as he was a bit faster to the punch than Johnson. Both men landed some very hard swings this round, as others were about even at close. Round 12 started with Langford landing an elbow blow across Johnson's jaw. This enraged Johnson as Langford smiled and laughed. This immediately put Johnson on the offense as he was upset. Again, he swung for Langford, who ducked once again, only to land a huge shot in the pit of Johnson's stomach. As he very nearly went to one knee, Langford followed with some aggressive swings, but Johnson was too clever to let himself get hurt any further. The round ended in Langford's favor, as this was the closest we seen to an almost knockdown. Round 13. Johnson played for Langford's eye and managed to once again get the claret flowing. As Langford pawed the streaming blood, Langford was unable to get much momentum going this round as Johnson was again having success with a much careful approach. Johnson's round. Round 14 started with the very grim and determined Langford as he started the round letting his hands go as he drove a two-fisted attack on Jack Johnson. Johnson was in full retreat as he was favoring a more careful approach. Langford followed Johnson around the ring. The crowd was cheering on Langford. "Go get him, you can do it, Langford," seemed to rally behind the crowd's support, as he landed several powerful punches upon Johnson, who spent most of the round in a retreat. Round 15, the last round, found both fighters going for broke, as the fight was very close and the victor was anyone's guess. Both fighters emptied out the last of their energy as both got in several hard blows upon each other. Langford threw some wild punches that Johnson countered beautifully. Towards the last minute of the fight, Langford finally connected upon a big swing and staggered Johnson. He stalked Johnson around the ring, who was just too strong for Langford in close, as he just tangled up Sam once again as time ran out in the last round. The entire stadium was on its feet over the excitement as they eagerly awaited the decision. Finally, Ref Charley White announced to the crowd,
Ladies and gentlemen, I have made a decision on the winner, and I would like to introduce the new heavyweight champion of the world, Sam Langford.
The crowd gave an amazing applause as Langford, bloodied and exhausted, raised his arm in victory. Through the crowd walked the new champion as the crowd was shouting, "Langford, Langford." The crowd seemed very happy that the smile was wiped off the face of the boastful Johnson. Afterwards, Johnson makes a claim to the press the following day that he was robbed and that he deserved the decision.